Hi, welcome to the Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 73 coming at you tonight. Big 73. Best 73 all time. We're in the offensive lineman group. Larry Allen, Dallas Cowboys.
This is going to be a rough stretch.
Rough
the 70s.
stretch.
80s,
Yep.
you can get some receivers, but 70s,
absolutely.
rough stretch.
We're going to talk about the Lions. We're going to do some predictions for their season. Some NFL bold predictions. And then we're going to finish with KD, Kevin Durant, and kind of some legacy discussion about KD.
I just have it written down as Kevin Durant nonsense. 50 plus days, because that's how long we've been doing this
Actually,
nonsense.
that sounds right.
But we'll get into that later.
Good.
Okay, off the tops, hit
A few
them.
off the tops. We went to see a Maddox on a week ago Friday, which was actually really cool.
No one knows what that means.
Isaac, why don't you explain it?
Maddox is, baseball, so everyone's just going to mute their computer or their phone for 15
Some
seconds.
people like baseball.
Maddox is a complete game, under 100 pitches. Does it have to be a shutout as well? It might have to be a shutout.
Yep.
So, very, super, super rare. Last time it happened in MLB was literally a year ago. Just you don't see it in today's era of baseball.
Yeah, because people don't stretch the pitchers very long.
And the Tigers are so
pitchers.
bad, they let someone get a Maddox on them. So we were in attendance for that.
Yep. Patrick Sandoval, but we did get to see Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. You saw them again on Sunday.
I saw them twice.
Awesome. Very cool.
16 Tiger games I've been to this year. 16.
You
Average price is like $12 a ticket. So
I think you're probably in the 18 because
No, it's
the Friday
under.
tickets. No, that really bumped.
take
number
out the
up.
outlier and it's nothing.
Take out the Russian judge, and actually you're good.
Okay, don't know what that means.
Olympics, it's always the Russian judge would score really high or really low because they're just corrupt.
Okay,
Not much has changed.
good.
Yeah. Lakers trade for Pat Bev. So this is last night, kind of a drop. So they needed another guy who couldn't shoot.
I
I like his defensive intensity, but
I was big on the Pat Bev train in the Minnesota play-in era, like that week.
you love Pat Bev.
I only liked him in Minnesota when he's backing up like Edwards. I officially hate Pat Bev now. I just have to hate him now. Taylor Horton-Tucker, who's a guy that Laker fans were saying was better than Tyler Hero, better than Jordan Poole, better than any kind of young player in that better than RJ Barrett. All these delusional Lakers superfans.
So Pat Bev doesn't really start on a playoff team.
Well, I just read the headline. Russell Westbrook's exit looks increasingly more likely with that came out like 6 minutes ago. This is all the big NBA guys are throwing this out there now. So Clutch Sports and LeBron's team of morons is just pushing more media, pushing more stupid headlines like this to the media. So we'll deal with that for the next month or 2 months until the NBA starts. And then Russell Westbrook will eventually leave in ugly, awkward fashion. That's what'll happen.
Kyrie for a couple of first and
I don't want
else?
to talk about the Kyrie thing.
Okay.
I'm done with the anti-vax Kyrie.
Well, you know what? Speaking of anti-vax, why don't we just go into Novak Djokovic is not going to play in the U.S. Open. So 2 of the last
Nobody
4
cares.
majors,
Nobody.
He's decided he wants to stay on the sidelines. Jerk off. Good for your legacy. What about the WNBA rookie that had like quadruple zeros and she made the All-NBA rookie team? Sam Thomas is her name. We were talking about this last week. I know they're trying to legitimize the league.
But
just just stop.
I have nothing to say on this matter.
Is it because you're sexist?
No, not at all. Because I don't watch the WNBA, therefore I'm not inclined to make an educated comment.
0.4 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.2 assists, and she made an NBA All-Rookie team.
That sounds like you in a pickup game to 11, respectively.
Yeah, but I'm not going to make anything. Maybe
fine.
all effort.
Fine.
That's about the only thing I got.
Okay, do you have any more bad off the tops?
Chet Holmgren injury.
So sad, man.
I
was
like
really
Chet.
upset. I don't love Chet. I think he's kind of dumb off the court. I don't like... Who's the best player in the NBA? Me in 2 months. Stupid thing to say. It's my teammate. It's LeBron. Like, you just do the safe answer there. So I don't love him. But I do want to see him play. I was really looking forward to watching him just like...
Going to be entertaining.
Hit threes and then get bodied and fall 6 feet in the floor. Like, it would have been fun.
Yeah.
And now the Thunder are just going to suck again.
They're going to tank for Wembanyama or Scoot, but they're going to try and get Wembanyama, and then nobody could score anywhere inside 15 feet
Oh,
against
the Thunder
OKC.
get Wembanyama, and they're going to trade Shea eventually. I feel like the timeline isn't going to work out because they're going to keep delaying it, and Shea's going to be like ready for a max contract, and they're going to be like, oh, we've actually got these 6 rookies that we got in the first round that we like. So, anyways, yeah.
But eventually you need to start to build a culture of winning, develop some vets.
I know that. Yeah, the Pistons, we building a culture. Don't worry.
I know. Okay.
Anything else off the top? Because there's a couple that you missed.
No, I made my off the top quick because I'm tired of getting criticized.
It's only 5 minutes, right? UFC rocks. You missed UFC Saturday night. I won't get into it. I don't love the outcome, but I love the sport.
Well, basically, it was Balboa, except Balboa is a bad dude.
Unlikable. Yeah, so it's like if Balboa and Drago were really reversed. Like Drago was the fan favorite. Everyone loved Drago. And then everyone hated Rocky. And Rocky ended up winning, and then everyone's just kind of like, oh. So in this case, the really likable guy lost to the really unlikable guy, but in a few months they'll fight again, and the good guy will beat the bad guy. But UFC is just a great sport. I love it so much. Bullet Train. In theaters, Brad Pitt. Loved it. Lots of fun. Get off your phone, dude. He's sending texts right now.
No, it's Remy.
Okay. Shout out, Remy.
Shout out, Remy.
So Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. Really sick movie.
Okay,
I really
you keep talking.
Really?
Yeah,
this is what we're doing? Okay.
It's actually important.
All right. So I will talk about Man of Steel. Man of Steel is a Superman movie. I love it so much. 2013 it came out. I put it on the other day because I don't get a lot of time to just sit down and watch a movie with all due respect. I have not. Work, sports, etc. I had some time. I put on Man of Steel because there's no sports on.
Actually, I watched it for a few minutes.
You watched it a while. Man of Steel is so good.
It's so good.
And the best part about it isn't even the flying stuff. It's the stuff on the farm. It's the stuff with his family. It's the stuff
when he was getting bullied and he cracks the fence and then he saves the boss.
The fact that it's a Superman movie and the best part of the movie is when he doesn't have a cape on shows how good it is and how everyone. It's on Netflix.
That's Brendan Roth.
Nope, that's Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Go and watch Man of Steel, though.
Who's the Brendan Roth one? That was the one.
That's Superman Returns 06, which is also quite good, but very different.
Good. Did we talk about how Mom got
No, because no one cares. I have another thing to talk about. LeBron James. We didn't even talk about his new contract. So he signed a 2-year 97, but it's going to go to 110 or something. $1 million extension. Do you know when this information came out? 3 minutes before the NBA had their highly anticipated release of their schedule that they'd been pumping out commercials for the past month, schedule release. 3 minutes before, LeBron's yeah, hey, Clutch, put my contract out there. So everyone had to talk about LeBron. That's just an ego move that not a lot of people will get.
I take this as LeBron saying, I am not going to win any more championships, but I want to stay in LA, make lots of money in movies, pave the way for Bronny to come and play with them.
I'm just tired. Respectfully, I'm really tired of this LeBron stuff. Anyways,
they'll have to be relatively injury-free to make the play.
No, we're not getting there yet.
Okay, that's the truth.
Lions schedule. So, we have the schedule in front of us. We looked through the Lions schedule. We have not talked about our records and where we have wins and losses, but we have done a schedule prediction separately.
This was tough to do.
This was extremely tough to do because I started going through it and I'm like, oh, I've put down 7 W's and 1 L. So I had to make some changes because really quickly I'm like, oh wow, the Lions are going to go 16-1. I should probably make some edits. So I just want to say I think I'm in a pretty good spot, but there was a stretch where I can just talk myself into we'll talk about Buffalo. Maybe Josh Allen, it's Thanksgiving, Detroit will be bumping, maybe Allen has an off day. I talked myself into a lot of scenarios and I've come down to earth. So let's start. Week 1. Am I going to say the days or are you going to say the day?
I'll just preface it for a little bit. This is a fun time in sports because everybody is pumped. You watch Hard Knocks, and it doesn't matter that they have one of the top worst quarterbacks in football and a terrible defense. You're excited. This is fun. So, granted, we do have to take off the rose-colored glasses and be realistic. So my picks are objective.
Mine weren't.
They were not. Now they are.
Now they are.
Okay, good. Week 1, Philly. I've got it down as a loss.
So do I. This is one of the ugly L's that's really scratchy because I originally put W and had to transition it to an L. I might be there at this game, so that might affect things. I don't know in a good or positive way. It's just a fact. So I also have a loss. I think Philly's going to be pretty good this year, especially the division they're playing in. They're going to be able to win a lot of games.
They are the best team in that division. That's not saying a great deal.
Actually, I have a point about that in my bold prediction, so we'll get there later.
Okay, fair enough.
Week 2 against the Washington Commanders.
W.
I love Carson Wentz, but Carson Wentz, your quarterback? Come on, man.
No, and they don't have some guys.
So, I agree. So, we're each at 1-1. Week 3, what do you got?
At Minnesota, loss, unfortunately. They're going to score some points, but Minnesota's likely to score about 48 points.
I also have a loss. What body do we put on Justin Jefferson, who might solidify himself as the best receiver in football this year?
Yeah.
Because I'm that high.
He's going to have 1,800 yards receiving this season, and he'll have about 400 against the Lions in 2 games.
And Kirk Cousins is throwing to him, which
Yeah.
just shows how good this guy is. Yeah. What do you got? Okay, next week.
So Seattle, actually, I've got a W.
So Seattle, they're going to be terrible.
They're poop.
They're going to be really,
They got
really
a couple of young pieces. They got decent wide receivers. Actually, I don't think it's going to be a blowout because Detroit is not going to be able to stop a lot of people. But I still have the Lions down for their second win of the season. So after 4 weeks, they are 2-2. They're at the 500 mark.
Yep. Okay, week 5 at New England.
Loss. Although I did put this in red.
It's going to be close. This is going to be a game that comes
I
down
don't
to the
think
wire.
New England is going to be very good this year, whatever you want to call it.
It's a matter of can Goff bring them down. They're going to be down either 3 or 4, and they're going to need a touchdown or a field goal.
What about TB12?
Tim Boyle? Tim Boyle won't be checking in, bro. I think they lose, but this is one where I can visualize.
Yep, you can see it.
There's some scenarios where, Mac Jones throws 3 interceptions and just looks terrible all game. So loss, but I can see a W here. But I have it as an L.
And New England is a tough place to play.
As we know, because we were there.
We were there.
That was sick.
In the rain, it was still sweet.
Week 6 bye week sucks. Hate the early bye.
Yeah, way too early.
Especially when you're going to be competing for a Super Bowl like the Lions are. I like to have the bye week later in the year to rest up before the postseason.
Well, why don't we just take week 18 to rest up?
Well, we usually do anyways, but for the wrong reasons. Just to get an early start on the offseason.
True.
Now, week 7 at Dallas.
Loss.
I have a loss too, but this is one. If I could pick a W, like just out of pure enjoyment, it might be this game.
So would you give away 2 other wins to beat Dallas?
It depends what those 2 wins are.
Not Green Bay.
Then probably. Because at Green Bay, I also want to demolish.
Yeah, we want,
or just injure.
Against Dallas, we want Dak Prescott to injure his ankle, but be back the next week. But be back the next week. That's
not
okay.
Dak.
Against Green Bay, we want Aaron Rodgers to break.
Yes.
Like, Aaron Rodgers has lost his shoulder. Lost. Gone.
Just
I'm
falls
okay
out.
with that. No, it gets ripped out by Hutch.
And it's missing. It's just gone.
It's gone.
He has one shoulder.
Hutch is celebrating with it in the end zone.
Or his kneecap. Because they rip the kneecaps off,
they bite
right?
the kneecaps.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So actually, we can do... Let me get a kneecap. You get a shoulder. We will just disembody Aaron Rodgers with no due respect.
He deserves it.
Now, week something, home against Miami. W, respect. We're doing good so far.
Tua's not going to be very good.
I don't have a bold prediction about Tua, but I will say I was pretty close to saying he won't be the Dolphins quarterback by the end of the year.
Yep.
And we are Tua supporters. We've been on the record
We
for liking
so
him.
want him to do well. He just doesn't seem to have it.
He's a really nice dude.
He's a really nice... Hey, you know what? We should invite him on the truth.
He would come on.
Yeah, he probably would.
He totally would.
Gee, guys, sorry I didn't get to bring anything other than this really nice bottle of wine and a couple signed jerseys for you.
And he'd just start campaigning to be the Lions quarterback in 3 years. Or 2 years, maybe. I would... There was some talk about it in the offseason, and I actually was fine with it. But we're not there. Home against Green Bay.
Loss.
I have a loss.
Yep.
Sorry.
We don't need to talk about it.
No. Okay, move on.
At Chicago. So this was a tough one for me as well. It's going to be an awful game. It's going to be like a 12-11 game.
Yeah.
But another loss.
I have a loss. When they played last year, it was awful. Like the football, there was, I think, the Chicago game, the at Chicago game, when Goff did the butt fumble kind of thing, where maybe he just threw it at some dude's butt or something, where it was just a terrible play in the red zone. Yeah. I have a loss. At New York, Giants.
I also have a loss. The Giants are not going to be very good, but they do have some pieces in place. And again, the Lions don't travel terribly well. It's another L.
I have a loss. I think the Giants will be better than you do. I think I'm a little higher on the Giants.
You like Daniel Jones, don't you?
No, okay. I don't want that on record. I just don't think
you like Kenny Golladay?
No, I like Kadarius Toney, the rookie receiver last year.
Isn't he dinged up?
He's dinged up and he's kind of a punk, but he's really skilled.
Okay.
Thanksgiving, home versus Buffalo.
Loss by 78.
No, I'm taking the under on 78. I think, look, this is
close.
One of the...
What if I said 68? You'd have to think about it.
68 and a half. We have to have I might take the over just for fun. I think they lose to Buffalo. Buffalo's sick.
Listen, this is not a bold prediction. I've got Buffalo winning the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I am not there yet, but I'm very, very close. I'm very close.
Okay.
Home, Jacksonville. W for sure. Sorry, Jacksonville.
Pretty boy Lawrence? No. And this will be DJ Chark. This will be a revenge game for him, right?
Oh, let me star that. I didn't even consider that's the Chark revenge. I'm a big revenge game guy.
Yeah, I know.
So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
You're welcome.
Home versus Minnesota. W. Nice.
Wow. Are we identical?
We might be.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. At the Jets.
Loss.
Oh, dude, the Jets W. The Jets are terrible.
I know the Jets are terrible, but the Lions are terrible as well. And by this time, Goff is injured, and they're playing TB12.
That's not. I was also thinking Zach Wilson might be. What's the deal with him, right? Like, he's got a couple issues, but I don't know if he'll be starting quarterback at this point due to injuries, due to tanking. That was kind of one of my I'm like, what if the Jets are in complete tank mode at this point?
Could be.
And they sit everybody. So I have a W. At Carolina.
Loss.
Oh, W. Carolina, again. Carolina sucks.
Carolina
McCaffrey's going to be...
McCaffrey's
been injured for a month.
And Moore is their wide receiver, right?
Yeah, who I like.
Good. I think Baker Mayfield is actually going to have a pretty good year. He's pissed off. He's healthy. He's super motivated. They've got some guys on D.
They do.
So, anyway.
So you think Carolina's going to be... that's an interesting conversation we'll get to later. I have them beating Carolina. I think McCaffrey will not be there, and Right? Chuba Hubbard, I think we beat Chuba Hubbard and Baker Mayfield. That's not saying much, but I think we do. Home versus Chicago, W. Yeah, we're beating Chicago. Chicago's going to suck.
By that point, I hate to say it, but Fields is going to be in traction.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Last game of the season at Green Bay.
Loss.
I have a loss, but this might be another fraudulent win like last season.
Well, but part of it is I don't think Green Bay is going to be as good, so they're going to need to play their guys the last game of the season
to get a wild card.
To either get a wild card or to be able to
beat
host
Minnesota.
A wild card.
Beat Minnesota for the division.
Okay. Yeah.
That's smart. Okay, so I have 8-9 as the final record. Are you 7-10?
No, 6.
6?
I have six wins. So the two differences that I have, New England and the Jets.
New England we agreed. Panthers, I thought we disagreed.
Oh, Panthers I have down as a loss. You've got down as a win?
Yep.
And Jets I've got down as a loss.
I have Jets as a win.
Giants
we both have a loss.
Both have a loss. Okay. Yeah,
so,
6 wins.
I mean, so Vegas has the over-under at 6.5. You are betting the under.
Yeah, and I thought the over-under was 6.
I thought it was 6.5. Respectfully. Okay. Unless, I don't know, you're the bet guy.
I own the bet guy if I say, sure, Isaac, I'll jump in on that one. Fantasy football pool, we all toss in $20. Okay, good. Yeah, that's the extent of my betting.
8-9, I'm betting the over on 6.5. Not actually, because that's just not a good use of $20. Because I'm not super confident.
No.
But they can win. The schedule is not terrible.
It is not a difficult
If they stay healthy, they can win 10 games.
Oh.
Sorry, 7. 8.
No, they could win 8 games. I agree with you. Okay. They could win 8 games. Listen, they are not making the playoffs.
What if Rodgers gets injured and Green Bay fumbles and Chicago's going to suck and Kirk Cousins is Minnesota?
If Rodgers gets injured,
if
Rodgers misses the 2 Lions games, for sure that's one more W. Absolutely for sure. And maybe 2. What else? All
right, 8-9. Yeah. We're moving on.
I get 6, you get 8. There you go. So
they're going to have 7.
Shooting house, so they'll probably have 7.
Yeah, they'll probably have 7.
That's okay.
And if you tell me we get 7 wins, I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but next year, unless something bad happens, they don't get a
12 wins.
No, then it'll be 9 wins or it'll be 10 wins. It'll be big time.
Okay, NFL bold predictions. Start things off. Tell the people what we're going to do.
We're just each going to throw a few very well-educated, well-researched thoughts that we have on this year's NFL season. Some of them are individual player items, and some of them are team items. We're not talking about the Lions. We already talked about the Lions. Do you have any Lions?
No. So my takes vary in boldness. Some of them are gonna get a scoff from the people. They'll be like, "Dude, really?" And a lot of them will be like, "Yeah." Like you know what I mean? So they
got it.
I have some levels. So I have 10. How many do you have down? 15 or 4?
No, I have about 10.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Sure. We'll just go. I'll give you a couple of individual ones. Derrick Henry starts off on fire, has 1,000 rushing yards in the first 8 games, and he gets hurt again.
Yeah. All right. That's fine.
That's not so bold because Henry is awesome, healthy. If we had confidence that he'd be healthy for the year, honestly, I'd say, okay, 2,000 yards is a distinct possibility.
Yeah, it really is, especially with now they've got some weapons on the outside. Anyways, the LA Chargers. I'm a big Chargers guy. I have them winning their division. Now, I think
Tough
this would be
division.
considered bold because that's the toughest division in football. I think they've got the Chiefs, they have the Broncos with Russell Wilson, and they have the Raiders, who please don't sleep on the Raiders because the Raiders are actually pretty good now, especially with Devontae Adams.
So the question is, you take the top players in that division versus the rest of the NFL, and it's pretty close.
Yeah, like it's an all-star team. Their
Yep.
quarterback, right? They've the best quarterback division in football. They probably
they got
maybe the
Devontae
best
Adams, right?
skill
They
position.
got Travis Kelce. They got guys.
So I have the Chargers winning that division. I'm very, very high on the Chargers. And then can I transition to point number 2?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert. I won't say he's going to win MVP, but he's certainly going to be top 3. And he's also going to be.
I don't think that's a stretch. I think you're
Okay, he's
going
to win MVP. He's going to win MVP.
Honestly, I think it'd be an upset if he's not top 3. He's that good.
I would need to look at the. I think he's outside of the top 3. I think
Is
he's
he?
maybe outside the top 5 because Brady's getting a lot of love now, right? You've got
Yeah,
Brady,
I guess when we talk about Brady,
Allen,
talk about
Mahomes, Russell Wilson's getting a lot of love.
Yeah, the jerk in Green Bay still.
Oh, I have a take about him in a bit. I think Herbert, and also Herbert's going to be a Hall of Famer. Just that's going to happen. Just be ready.
You mentioned that to me the other day. The only way he's a Hall of Famer is if he gets a couple rings, and it's going to be
He's
hard.
going to be a Hall of
There's
Famer.
so many good quarterbacks in the league now and coming up over the next couple of years.
He's going to be a
It's
Hall of
gonna be
Famer. I'm
I like him a lot, but that's a reach.
Okay, bet. Point number 2. Go for it.
Christian McCaffrey actually stays healthy. 1,200 yards rushing, 800 yards receiving.
How many games does he play? 18?
No, not healthy is a relative term.
So like 10.
15.
You think? Yeah, that would be considered bold. Just the past 2-3 years, the way they went.
And that's over 2,000 combined yards from scrimmage.
He's really good.
He's awesome.
He's really good when healthy. Number 3, this one really pains me. I think Brady, for the first time in his life, actually takes a step back. And
Brady or Tampa?
I don't have anything about Tampa. I have Brady taking a step back.
I don't disagree with you.
And another, to add on to this, the headlines about Brady leaving, and Brady this, and Brady that, and Brady reporter, and Brady to Miami, and all this, and the Gruden stuff, I think they're just going to get pumped out all season.
And Brady to the Raiders.
Yeah, like the Gruden thing. I think this is unfortunately going to distract the Bucs locker room, and it's going to be out there. I think Brady was second in MVP, and he had last year. He had a really good case for number 1. And he was vaccinated.
Like, I think Brady is going to take a bit of a step back, but it's going to be more dependent on Tampa Bay's interior offensive line because they are injured there.
Super.
See, the whole thing is Brady from the outside, he can manage those guys, right? He can do hot routes. He can step up. Brady, with inside pressure, does terribly, right? It's one of the reasons why he's tough with the Rams because Darnold just is a beast. Not Darnold.
Donald? Aaron Donald? I'm not sure.
Aaron Donald. Yeah, I said Darnold.
Sam Darnold?
Yeah, no, Sam Darnold.
You sounded pretty smart for a bit though, talking about Brady. That was good.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
That was rare. Now your turn. So yeah, it's painful to say, but I think Brady and the Bucs drama is going to be a thing.
I mentioned it earlier, but I think Baker actually has a pretty good year. Healthy, motivated. They do have a couple of skill position guys. And then, so the comparison is, how does Cleveland do? Well, Cleveland does poop because they don't have Watson for 11 games, which is just a weird number. Like, okay, Isaiah Thomas, 11 games.
It's because they want him coming back at Houston. That's the way this works
that's
out.
Right, we did talk about that.
Which is just
too.
hilarious that the NFL couldn't say 10 or 12. Had to go 11. Come on, guys.
The Browns look terrible in this situation because I think people know this, but what they did is they backloaded Watson's deal because they realized he was going to be suspended for a lot of this year. So he's only going to be out like $48, and next year he makes $60 million.
If you look at the contract,
the numbers might not be completely accurate, but it's pretty close.
If you look at the contract, huge signing bonus. He's basically no cap hit this year, and then the next bunch of years it's like stupid money because it's all fully guaranteed.
Here's the other thing with the Browns. So they are paying to have Baker Mayfield go, and I think it's a big number. Like it might be $15 or $20 million they're paying Baker to not play for them. Now, even though it doesn't necessarily hit a salary cap hit for this year for Watson, still out of pocket, it's about $30 million.
Well, Cleveland isn't the best run franchise in football history.
Yeah. Who's Jacoby Brissett? I'm sure they're paying him $5 million.
Jacoby Biscuit, yeah.
So are they going to trade for Garoppolo, who's got to be another $15 million?
We will talk about that later.
That's crazy.
We will talk about Garoppolo later. Aaron Rodgers. I said a little step back for Brady. Rodgers takes a huge step back. Huge step back from his past 2 years. Like, he won the MVP the past 2 years. I think he's going to, I don't want to say suck this year, but if you look at their receiving core, bias aside, if you look at their receiving core, it's like, I would rather have Chark and St. Brown and Josh Reynolds and
100%.
And it's not even close.
Yeah.
The receiving core is so bad. I think Rodgers is going to have to do some all-time Giannis 50-point game in Game 6 against the Suns performance for 18 games or 18 weeks to have a shot at keeping the Packers alive. I think Rodgers takes a step back, partially because he's stupid, partially because of how bad
the
their
weapons.
weapons
And
are.
they've had some injuries in our offensive line too.
Correct.
Right, Dave Balcari is still not healthy, and some other dude is still
Who's not healthy?
Balcari?
Bakhtiari, dude.
Bakhtiari. That's not bad.
I know that from Madden, so I'll give you that one.
I don't play a lot of Madden since about 98.
You see, that must have been awesome.
It was so
That
awesome.
must have been cool.
It was awesome. Tua will not be the Lions quarterback. Sorry, will not be the Dolphins quarterback by the end of the season.
That's funny. So I had this written down. Tell me why.
He just unfortunately can't complete the downfield pass, and he's a little brittle. He just doesn't seem like he is, he's probably the 19th or the 20th best quarterback in the league. Miami has guys. So in order for Miami to succeed, they're going to have to get a better quarterback.
Yeah, that's something I think about. Where the Dolphins pretty quickly are going to realize like they're going to play Josh Allen twice a year for the next 15 years. It's not going to take long to realize it's going to be tough to win divisions with the throw-in Samoan Tua, who I like.
Yeah, eventually I was going to say eventually the Jets are going to be good, but that's New York. So New York football and New York basketball are both have a hex on them.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Tua from his career perspective, because this might be one of those things where he has to fail and go somewhere else in order to succeed. Who knows?
A Ryan Tannehill type deal.
Yeah, maybe.
And not that he's good in Tennessee, but he's better than he was in Miami.
Yep.
Julio Jones, he's going to be essentially a non-factor in Tampa. He's going to catch a few touchdowns.
He's their fourth guy, pretty
He's
much.
their third. But remember when he went, the whole day, Instagram was just like, oh my gosh, Julio to the Bucks, all these jersey swaps, all these, look at this receiving room. He's going to be injured for half the year. He's not a threat right now. He hasn't been a threat for a while, unfortunately. I think they'll get him a couple touchdowns. Like, they'll kind of force him some touchdowns. But I don't think he's going to be that good.
I agree.
Okay, go.
49ers will not have a very good year, even though they've got studs on offense and defense. Trey Lance is not good. Like, listen, please understand. They're going to make it to the playoffs, but a lot of people are saying, oh, the Niners are going to win 14 games. No, they'll win 11 games, probably. But Trey Lance is not ready to lead a playoff team. They will be in the playoffs, but then they'll lose in the first round.
So you think they're first round exit?
Yep.
Okay, I am a little higher in San Francisco.
Okay.
I am,
but they've got guys.
Davis Mills. You remember Davis Mills? The Texans quarterback who's
Yeah.
like a mid-round pick? I think he's going to be really good, and I think he's going to outperform two of last year's first-round quarterbacks. Those being Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields.
Oh, actually, I don't think that's a stretch at all.
Really? I just didn't think
Yeah.
Davis Mills was a popular guy.
No, either did I, but he's pretty good. I like watching him. He can chuck it. And the other guys are in some bad situations. Like Fields, I think, is pretty good. But again, it's going to be tough to throw for touchdowns when you're in traction.
Correct. And I was actually high on Justin Fields coming out. I'm
Me too.
Not, but yeah, who knows? So I think Davis Mills, he's going to be the man.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the take for C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young is Bryce Young? Who's the guy from
Bryce Young?
Yeah, Bryce Young is going to be on Atlanta, Houston, Seattle. They're going to be like literally throwing games to get at those
So
two
who's
guys.
in that group? Houston, Seattle.
Houston, Seattle, Atlanta are the for sure the three have just decided to chuck this season. I think Chicago and the Giants, after a little while, when their quarterbacks are dead, in traction, are probably going to say, okay, I guess we got a tank for a guy.
I don't know about Atlanta because they did draft Desmond Ridder in this draft.
Have you seen him throw? He can't throw. He
Yeah,
can
we
run.
saw him live and we're like, man, he's really not throwing much.
Like he doesn't throw.
I just feel like if that's the case, then you're going to start
Against
Ridder.
the Lions' backup DBs. So if they have
like third string.
some of the worst DBs starting, so the backups are obviously worse than that, couldn't throw against those guys.
Correct.
No, he could throw to his tight end, who was being covered by Jared Davis, the Lions' first round draft pick a few years ago. Is now, has he been cut yet?
Not yet.
He's going to get cut.
Number 7, this is a good transition from Atlanta. I think Matt Ryan is going to have this huge resurgence. I think the Colts win the
They
division.
got lots of pieces.
I don't want to say Matt Ryan MVP, but I think he's going to be like...
He'll be top 5.
You think he'll be top 5 MVP?
Close.
Matt
I don't think he'll end up there, but he'll be close to that. He's going to throw for a ton of yards, tons of touchdowns.
Okay, maybe I'm not like I think he's going to be good. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to carry. I think that offensive line is going to carry. I don't love their receiving core.
Linebackers are going to have to play close to the line of scrimmage to cover Taylor because Taylor's a beast, and also Taylor runs off lots of big runs.
I know.
Which means safety's got to play close. So
I'm high on Matt Ryan. I just don't think he's going to be top 5 MVP.
Top 5 might be a bit of a stretch.
That was a bet. That's.
I'm going to say top 7.
No, still no.
Okay,
still
fair
no.
enough. Okay. Mike Tomlin has his first losing season of his career as a Steeler coach. Unfortunately, they're just going to be one game under 500 because they've got some guys, but they don't have enough guys. So they're going to be 8-9.
That's an all-time line. Good job. They've got some guys, but they don't have enough guys. Well done.
Yeah, well.
Cowboys, they're losing their division. In turn, they will not make the playoffs.
No, because the division is poop.
That's what I'm thinking. I just don't think Dallas won't. So you agree with me on this? They won't make the playoffs?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. That's a good one. Go ahead.
Belichick and the Patriots lose 10 games.
10-7? Yeah, I can buy that.
Yep,
Totally.
7-10. And they should lose more than that, but obviously they've got a couple of easy wins.
Yeah,
they're not going to be very good. Mac Jones, he kind of got exposed the last little bit of the season in the playoffs. He just doesn't have that big an arm, so they're going to be able to play tight coverage. And they don't have a lot of talent.
Seattle Seahawks. This is a big take. I think they go 2-15. I looked at their schedule briefly. They're not going to win more than 3 games. I really think.
I didn't look at the schedule. I will take a peek.
Like they're going to win 1 or 2 games, and I think they win 2 games, and I think Pete Carroll gets fired / mutual departure in the offseason.
Listen,
I think Seattle's going to blow up.
Obviously, maybe you don't know, but we're big Luke Wilson fans for a long time. So we went to Seattle to see Luke play. We saw him play in Cincinnati. Is that where we saw him?
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. So we love the Patriots.
Seahawks.
Patriots. We love the Seahawks. It's an amazing place to watch a game.
Okay, this is a side quest. Seahawks suck. Unfortunately, right now they're going to suck, and Pete Carroll's going to get canned. Go ahead.
No, he's not going to get canned. He's going to retire, move in a front office position.
It doesn't.
He won't be the coach.
It's going to be semantic-y. Pete Carroll will not be coaching Seattle.
I agree.
Okay.
The whole rebuilds, I'm really interested. We need to keep like some type of thermometer with the Lions and the Bears rebuilds over the next couple of years.
Oh, Lions are going to be a better rebuild.
Oh, I think so, and I think the Bears are just going to be terrible because they gave away a lot of first-round picks. Nobody wants to play there.
Yeah, but again...
Like what's his name?
I'm not sure who.
Linebacker, Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith wants to leave. Yeah.
And defensive end, their guy who wants to go too.
I don't know.
Older dude.
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, again, I think Chicago's saying the same thing about Detroit. Who wants to come to Detroit to play? Detroit's going to suck, blah, blah, blah. But we'll be right. That's the only difference between us and the Bears fans. My last one, Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo will be Cleveland Brown. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be Cleveland Brown relatively soon. Lots of buzz about him going to Seattle because Seattle's QB was Drew Lock and Geno Smith. And Pete Carroll with an all-time line. I think we have 2 number 1 quarterbacks. Just an all-timer. I love that awesome. One.
But you know what? He's so positive. He's probably making people believe it. Really, Pete? Yeah, that's it. We can do that.
I think Garoppolo will be Cleveland Brown. And I don't want to talk about Cleveland anymore because I don't know what's going to happen. But I bet Garoppolo is going to lace up in a Brown jersey.
Okay. Last point. Tampa Bay and Brady take a step back. They have some bumps during the regular season.
I said that.
But guess what? They're going to get healthy. They're going to make a run in the playoffs and end up in the Super Bowl and lose to the Bills.
Oh, nice. Love it. Well done. That's good.
That's good. That's my last take.
Okay. Bills, Bucks.
Good.
Bills, Bucks, Super Bowl. Bills over Bucks.
Correct.
Okay, I don't have one yet, but I will get one and I'll make sure it's right. Kevin Durant. Anything new with Kevin Durant, Tal?
He's a big poop head, and he has been somehow able to add more poop to his head. I don't get it. But, okay, I want to preface some of his moves before we move into the poop head stage.
Yeah, I was
I'm going to play a bit of devil's advocate and say I'm going to support KD for a little bit and talk about some of his moves, which is tough.
Okay, I'll let you spew some nonsense.
Yeah, this will be hard. So he played so he had 9 months of college at Texas, and then he went to Seattle for a year. They loved him, but then they went to OKC. Like, OKC isn't the funnest place to play, right? So his nightlife is to go down to the Rodeo and have a beer with a bunch of racist crackers.
Wow. I think his nightlife is in a gym, and he shoots hoops, and then he takes breaks and goes on Twitter, and then he goes back and shoots some more hoops. That's nightlife.
It's not him. They're fake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's yeah.
But he played with Russ a bunch of those years, so I can understand how he wanted to go. And then the year that he was a free agent, there was not a lot of good options for him. He could have gone to the Knicks, could have gone to the Lakers. Both those teams were poop at that time. The Knicks were still poop.
The Celtics were an option.
Celtics were an option, but again, there was some disharmony there. Plus, they're all racist in Boston. He could have gone to San Antonio. That was a realistic option for him. San Antonio was still good, right? They had Kawhi.
Young Kawhi. That would have been
Kawhi,
something.
Aldridge, pretty young. They would have been good. But he decided to go to Golden State. Golden State did not win the championship that year, right? It was 2016.
Correct.
So he said, okay, boom, I'm going to go to Golden State. I'm going to be the man. We're going to win some rings. So I understand him leaving OKC. He gave them a long stretch.
And playing with Westbrook for 8 years is not easy.
No, I think it was 7 years.
Something like that.
Doesn't
and
matter.
also
Long
factoring in Harden.
Yeah, bad. So then he went to Golden State, and an amazing team, arguably one of the best teams in history.
Yeah.
Again, you could argue that was the best lineup in history, their death lineup. After a couple rings, he loved it, but it was not his team. It's Steph Curry. It was and still is Steph Curry's team. This is when KD should have just said, man, this is amazing. This is like going to college for me. It's lots of fun, great nightlife, great teammates, great organization, coaching support. But he wanted to, and he still wants to be the man. So he left Golden State. That's a mistake, but you can understand how these guys are professional athletes. He wants to be a top player of all time. I have to be the man. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to be the man somewhere else. He's I guess, buddies with Kyrie, and thought, okay, me and Kyrie are going to run the show. Kyrie, let's put his brain aside for a second. From a talent perspective, is one of the most talented players in basketball history.
Sure.
Not top 5, but you could argue top 10
Different
talents.
arguments. Different argument.
Yeah, different arguments.
Enough hitting tables.
Obviously, it was a bad decision to team up with Kyrie, and I'm sure he approved the Harden trade. So again, that was a bad call, going to the Nets and working with Kyrie and Harden. Like, he could have gone to the Knicks, which would have been worse. He should have just stayed in Golden State. Was there another option there available to him that was realistic at that time?
He could have done whatever he wanted, especially in this player empowerment garbage era, which I'll get to later if I get to talk.
Anyway, so he made a terrible decision to go to the Nets. I've got a couple more points, but I'll let you talk for a minute.
So I just want to open with threatening your boss, usually not a good idea. Just generally not good business practice, okay? Especially when your boss has a net worth. Do you know what Joe Tsai's net worth is?
$7 billion.
$8.3 billion.
Oh, that's a pretty good guess.
Really not a good idea to try to put a gun to your owner who has a net worth of $8.3 billion. You're just not going to win. There's not many scenarios in the multiverse.
And he's supposed to be a good dude, right?
I think everyone likes him, except Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So, I just
wrong
really
guy to
disagree.
bully. Billionaires are pretty hard to bully as a general rule.
So Kevin Durant requests a trade. Joe Tsai and the Nets are like, no. Then Kevin Durant is like, okay, you have to fire the head coach and you have to fire the general manager. The Nets, again, they say no. Then KD says he's going to retire, which nobody on the planet believed that Kevin Durant was going to retire. The Nets are like, no, you're not. He didn't retire. And then then Kevin Durant goes back to the Nets and says, okay, fine, let's just play. Okay. And that's where we're at now. So Kevin Durant, not only do I disagree with requesting the trade, the way that they handled demanding this trade was the worst possible way. They made it public. That was the thing. They brought it public. They leaked all these headlines. And I think that Kevin Durant not only was requesting the trade a poor basketball and life decision, because what you have in Brooklyn, you can't just abandon that. I think you have to stay there. You just signed your contract.
You made your bed. You got to sleep in it, dude.
They traded Jared Allen for him. They got DeAndre Jordan. How did that work out, right? They did all this. So I disagree with the requesting of the trade, and I disagree with the bringing it public. The court of public opinion, right? Daredevil talks about that in Spider-Man No Way Home. Court of public opinion. The court right now, we're the court. We don't really like what Kevin Durant's doing, and no one does.
You're guilty. Like, I just came up with some reasons as to some of your earlier moves and had a little bit of justification, even though we don't necessarily agree with leaving Golden State. But now the court of public opinion, the fans are against you. And I don't think you're that bad a dude, considering, like, there's lots of guys that are much worse dudes than you.
I think he's a good dude.
Yeah,
I do.
But you've done some stupid things. I don't know how he repairs it.
He doesn't.
Like, does he has to stay in Brooklyn and win a title?
The only way this is repaired, and it's never going to be fully repaired, is if the Nets turn this into some sort of dynasty. Ben Simmons remembers how to play basketball. Kyrie sticks up and gets a needle in him. And the Nets win 3 championships in the next 4 years. And it's what a dynasty. Oh my gosh, post-Warriors era.
How many
is the Nets
championships
era.
does KD have to win in order for this to be... I'm not even going to call it a win. I'm going to call it neutral. Net neutral. One, you think one?
Just like LeBron nonsense with the Lakers, how I kind of always thought. No matter what happens, no matter how ugly it gets when he will leave, he got a championship. And it's a fake championship. Doesn't matter. It's still a ring.
It's true. I mean,
winning cures everything.
Kawhi is a hero in Canada because he gave Canada 1 ring.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get a couple more.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
So the whole KD thing, I hate. You're not even looking at the Ben Simmons aspect of this. Like, factor that in. Then factor in the Kyrie
Simmons
stuff.
hasn't played in a year and a half. Kyrie...
Can he still hoop? Can Ben Simmons actually still ball?
Well, the thing is, his skill level is his, ability to run the ball at the court and play tough D, pass the ball.
And it's feel of the game. He hasn't had a feel of the game for a year and a half.
So he has no feel. He can still play tough D, but is really... So, like, he might play center.
Which I kind of want. Like, that'd be sick.
Yeah,
like
I want him to guard Embiid.
Yeah.
Really, I want him to guard Embiid.
That'll be fun. I look forward to that.
Yeah, how's he going to do against...
The Twin Towers, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Those are 2 tough covers there, Ben.
Yeah.
And then, I think the court of public opinion is a really good point. I was proud of that one. I just think with Kevin Durant, he's setting himself up for failure. The legacy stuff, it's going to be what a great player, what a great scorer. Oh my gosh. But man, the way he handled his career was just a really strange way to go about doing it.
I was trying to think of somebody who we can compare to, and it's not a direct comparison, but I thought of Kobe Bryant.
In 07.
Yeah. Elite talent, great scorer, flaws, right? Kobe, again, people forget about the first part of Kobe's career.
Be careful.
Was selfish. So I know that goes against the court of public opinion because everybody loves Kobe. And listen, you finished awesome. Your defensive intensity was great, but you did a lot of bad things early in your career. I think you salvaged them. I really do, right? An elite talent, great scorer, flaws. Kobe and KD will probably both end up just outside the top 10 all time.
So I have Kobe in my top 10. We know that.
We did this, and I think Kobe I had him 10 or 11, maybe.
Yeah, then the Curry just went on this crazy run, and so that changed things. The Kobe thing, I thought you were bringing up in 07 when Kobe requested the trade from the Lakers.
There was an article about that not that long ago.
Yeah, and it was really ugly, and Kobe's like, fine, and he stuck it out, and they ended up winning a championship, and no one ever talks about him requesting a trade. And obviously this is different because it's not like Kevin Durant has played for the Nets for 10 years, like Kobe did at this point with the Lakers. But if Kevin Durant wins a championship this year or the next year, this will cure a lot of it.
It will cure a lot of it, yep.
But I don't like this. It's not good for basketball. I
agree with you.
Just put on a jersey and play, and enough of this garbage, and get off Twitter.
Okay. A couple other things. We need to give a political statement because political statements don't happen a lot. We've got 2 people who we know, trust, and support. Mayor Drew Dilkins is running for mayor of Windsor for his 3rd term.
Let's go get him.
Go Team Drew. Let's go. Don't believe the garbage and the crap that they're talking.
You can't say that with me here.
No legitimacy. Have legitimate points. And you don't need to wear a hat and jeans everywhere.
Dude. Okay, now you actually have to stop.
Okay, I'll stop. And also, we've got a young buck with tons and tons of potential, integrity, smart, work hard for you. That's our man Lyndon out in Amherstburg. So I know we got lots of fans out in Amherstburg. You got your basketball people, right?
Yeah.
They better all be on Team Lyndon.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so we get a Team Lyndon shirt.
And we
get a Team Dilkins shirt.
Since we're a sports pod, let's just bring it. So Lyndon Crane is like, do we give him Victor Wembanyama? Like, do we give him the
potential?
Yeah, like
no, he's Scoot.
No one knows who Scoot is.
Okay.
Or we can give him like a guy. Can he be Cade Cunningham? Can Lyndon be Cade?
No, I love Lyndon, but I don't think he can be Cade.
Why not? Perennial All-Star, Hall of Famer, going to get a couple championships just like Lyndon. That's his trajectory. That's happening. Mayor Dilkins, who's like a savvy vet, Steph Curry?
Mayor Dilkins is Steph Curry.
Okay.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Steph sometimes has a nice one-handed push floater. Mayor Dilkins has we'll call it a quite unique one-handed push shot.
All right, any more politics here?
No politics. Just need to say hello to a couple boys that have been supporting us.
Respect.
Pedro,
Yeah.
boys in Toronto, Urban Paul. And shout out Nathan Attridge's basketball team.
Yeah, he's hooping.
They're hooping.
Thanks to the people that listen to it. You don't realize, right? Like, not that we get thousands and thousands of listeners, but like, there's enough names where it's like, hey, they listen to the pod. Respect.
Yeah, all those guys at the baseball game last night. The softball game. I'm like talking trash and like, hey, the truth. We're on Team Tal. I had no idea who those dudes were.
That's respect. See?
That was cool.
People, respect. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
We wouldn't be anywhere without you guys.
We love you guys. We appreciate the support. Don't worry. We're going to keep bringing you the truth every single week.
Okay, anything else?
No, I'm a little excited.
Okay.
Pumped up.
All right. Good job. Thanks for listening,
Peace out, everybody. See you.